There's a hidden battle happening around us every single day. It's not loud, it doesn't announce itself, and worst of all, it often comes from the people we trust the most. Friends, family, people we love. It starts small, an offhand comment that lingers in your mind a little too long, a conversation that leaves you feeling uneasy, a relationship that slowly, subtly drains you of your peace. Before you even realize it, your confidence slips, your thoughts start shifting, and your emotions begin reacting to forces you can't even see. And that's the scary part. Most people don't see it until it's too late. This is why the Stoics believe that true wisdom begins with awareness, with seeing things as they really are, not just how they appear on the surface. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." That means the people around you, the conversations you allow, the energies you entertain, they shape you in ways you don't even realize. And if you're not careful, if you don't train yourself to recognize when something is pulling you off track, you won't notice until you've already become someone you never intended to be. But here's the good news. Once you start recognizing these influences, you take back your power. You regain control over your thoughts, your emotions, and most importantly, your peace. That's exactly what we're diving into today. How to recognize the subtle, hidden forces that might be working against you, even when they come in the form of a friend, a family member, or someone you trust. And trust me, once you learn to see it, you can never unsee it. So stick with me here, because every single part of this video connects, and missing even one piece could mean missing the exact insight you need right now. Let's get into it. Some of the biggest forces shaping your life aren't the ones you see. They're the ones working in the background, subtle, quiet, almost invisible. It's the words people repeat around you, the energy they bring into your space, the attitudes they carry. Influence doesn't always announce itself. It slips in slowly until one day you wake up feeling different, thinking differently, and you're not even sure why. The Stoics knew that the world is full of distractions, opinions, and external forces trying to pull you in every direction. That's why they focused so much on guarding the mind. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to be careful of what he absorbed, to filter out anything that didn't align with reason and virtue. He understood that we become what we allow to shape us. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, and fear, you start to internalize it. If you spend enough time with people who see limits instead of possibilities, you start seeing them too. Most people don't realize this is happening. They think their thoughts are entirely their own, but they're not. Every conversation, every repeated phrase, every interaction leaves a mark. A friend who constantly complains, you start feeling heavier, even if you weren't upset before. A family member who always highlights the worst-case scenario, you start second-guessing your decisions. A colleague who subtly undermines you, their words sit in the back of your mind, making you doubt your abilities, even when there's no real reason to. Epictetus taught that we must be ruthless in protecting our inner world. He said, the more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. The same goes for influence. If you're not careful, you let the wrong voices dictate your mindset, your confidence, even your sense of purpose. And the danger isn't just in obvious negativity. Sometimes influence comes in the form of passive discouragement. People who don't directly attack your dreams, but who never fully support them either. The ones who say, "That's great, but," or "I just don't want to see you get hurt." They sound caring, but what they're really doing is planting doubt. True awareness means paying attention. It means stepping back and asking yourself, where did this thought come from? Is this belief mine, or did I inherit it from someone else? Because once you see where your influences are coming from, you get to decide what stays and what goes. And that's where real strength begins. So, how do you know when that's happening? It's not always obvious. If it were, you'd shut it down immediately. But these influences tend to be slow, sneaky and gradual. It starts with small things, offhand comments, repeated criticisms disguised as concern. A constant undercurrent of negativity that makes it feel like the world is always against you. Think about your relationships. Do you have people in your life who always highlight problems, but never solutions? Who make everything feel heavier, as if life is just one endless struggle? Seneca warned against this kind of influence, saying that we should be careful not to sink under the weight of others' burdens. There's a difference between supporting someone and being dragged into their storm. Some people aren't looking for a way out of their negativity, they just want company in their misery. Then there are the manipulators. They're not always obvious. They don't control you outright. Instead, they plant small doubts. They make you question your instincts, your decisions, your own judgment. You say something with confidence, and they respond with, "Are you sure about that?" or "I don't know, I heard that's really risky." Harmless at first. Right, but when you hear it enough, it starts to sink in. Slowly, you start deferring to them, doubting yourself, second-guessing things you once knew to be true. And let's talk about jealousy disguised as support. Ever share good news with someone only to be met with a forced smile and a half-hearted, "That's great, I guess," or maybe they instantly shift the conversation back to themselves, making your moment of joy feel like it never even happened? That's not just an oversight, it's a pattern. The Stoics believe that the company you keep should be one that sharpens you, strengthens you, and reinforces your values. If someone consistently downplays your successes or subtly discourages you from pursuing growth, that's an influence you need to evaluate. There's also the constant victim, the person who always has a problem, always blames others, and never takes responsibility. They feed on your sympathy, pulling you into their chaos, making you feel guilty if you don't get involved. But as Epictetus reminds us, you become what you give your attention to. If all your energy is spent absorbing someone else's drama, how much do you have left for your own purpose? And finally, pay attention to your body. Sometimes before your mind catches on, your body will tell you everything you need to know. Do you feel tense around certain people? Do you catch yourself sighing the moment you see their name pop up on your phone? Do you feel lighter, freer, more at peace when they're not around? That's not just stress. That's your body signaling you that something isn't right. The Stoics taught that wisdom isn't just about intellectual reasoning. It's about listening, observing, and responding wisely. Ever wonder why certain thoughts, emotions, or behaviors seem to stick with you? Even when you know they're not serving you, you try to shake them off, but they linger, shaping the way you see yourself, the way you react, the way you move through life. That's not by accident. That's influence at work. And the strongest influences aren't always the loudest. They're the ones that slip in unnoticed, settling in your mind and subtly shifting the course of your decisions before you even realize it. The Stoics were obsessed with this idea, understanding how external forces shape us, and more importantly, how to guard against them. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to filter the thoughts he allowed into his mind, knowing that the world around him would always try to impose its values, its fears, its distractions onto him. And let's be honest, most people don't even realize they're being influenced. They move through life on autopilot, absorbing whatever energy surrounds them, reacting instead of choosing, drifting instead of directing.